New year, new you, new goals, right? So today we're going to answer the age-old question, how would I learn to code if I could start over again in 2023? But first, let me give you a brief background of how I got started and where I am now. Currently, I'm an engineering manager with about 6 years of experience, and I've done about 15 languages/frameworks professionally, and I've worked on projects for companies ranging from nonprofits to startups to Fortune 100 companies. My journey all started doing some development in high school, messing around with my MacBook, doing stupid stuff like wrecking my hard drive, implementing SmackBook, you know, that thing that we all look dumb smacking the side of our book to try to get it to switch desktops. Then I went to college. And this brings me to my first question that I get a lot is, if I were to go back in time, would I still go to college? But I'll get back to that a little bit later. In college, I decided that computer science was not for me. I ended up studying informatics and minoring in business and graphic design. And my first job out of college, I wasn't a dev. And a couple months into that first job, they figured out that I could do development work and gave me a raise and a title change and said I was being a dev. So if I could start all over again, where would I start? First, I would look into the different kinds of development. This is something that a lot of people who are just starting out don't realize, but there's a lot of different kinds of development. Here are 4 popular options, but there are many, so make sure you do look them up. There's web development, application development, data science, and game development. Within each of these, though, there are also specializations, so make sure you start researching the kind of development that you might be interested in. I am personally a web developer, and that's where a lot of the industry has continued to go, but that doesn't mean that there aren't a lot of other options out there with a lot of job opportunities. My second step would be I would try it out for free. There are a lot of free resources online, and I will link some of them down below. Some of the YouTube videos that I really like that I've watched myself or have done personally. There are free Harvard courses, which I will also link down below, a couple Codecademy things that you can do. So there are plenty of free resources for you to see if you even enjoy it. Even if you haven't picked a development type that you want to do yet, I would start with something like JavaScript or Python. They are high-level languages. A lot of schools use both of those languages to teach anyways, because they're about as close to English as you can get. So you don't have to spend so much time worrying about syntax and more time learning to see if you have the mindset for it and if you actually like doing it. When I say the mindset for it, being able to break down problems to find a solution is a piece of development that not a lot of people think about, and not everybody enjoys it. So it's something to think about as you're going through these problems and as you're creating your first couple of programs. The right tutorials will have this breaking down of problems built into them so that you can really start getting a taste of what it means and how people go about developing. If you enjoyed the free resources, my next step would be to get something that's not free, but still cheap. I would purchase a course on something like Udemy. They are much more affordable options than something like a code camp or a college degree. Most of them are a couple $100 not on sale, and maybe $15 to $20 when they are on sale. Udemy has sales all the time, so keep that in mind. If it were me, I would wait until they were on sale. Again, I will link a couple of Udemy courses I've taken down below that I really enjoy from the people that I like to learn from. But there are so many courses on Udemy that are really great, and they go deeper than the ones on YouTube. So you can really start learning about a language that you want to do. You can build bigger applications. You can get a better idea of how it all works. You get better fundamentals, etc. After all that, if you decide that you really do like developing and it's really where you want to go, there are a lot of different routes to get to where you want to be. One of them is college. Some of the pros of going to college would be that it looks great on a resume and it makes it easier to find jobs. College can be very fun and you can make some really great connections. The cons would be that it's expensive. College isn't for everybody, and it's a long program. All programs are long, no matter where you take them. So something to think about, but it really does get your foot in the door in a lot of places. More recently, people have been doing something like code camps, and I think these are a great option. And I have found that a lot of devs coming out of these programs have really great fundamentals, but you have to be careful which ones you choose. Code camps aren't really regulated, and there are so many out there now, and not all of them are great. So some things to look out for would be make sure that you understand what you're learning, and make sure that whatever you are learning aligned with the development path that you've chosen you wanted to go down. If you don't know which path, make sure that they have a pretty broad spectrum of fundamentals that you'll need to know. You don't have to know exactly what language you want to learn, but the fundamentals are really important to learning any language. So make sure that the code camp that you're looking at isn't only teaching frameworks, it's also teaching the fundamentals. How much it costs is another one. Some of them can cost a lot. Some of them don't cost as much. Just be careful. Not all of them have great websites that explain the full cost breakdown. So make sure that you're understanding the costs. Another thing to look at is how long the program is. Some programs are only a couple months. Some are a couple years. I would find one that is at least 6 months long, if not a year or longer. Not that I don't think that anything less won't teach you anything. I just think that those would have a better pace to really understand what you need to be successful. And some people will tell you to look for ones that guarantee a job offer. Personally, I'm not sure if I would try to find this or not. Most of these are learn now, pay later, which is great. But I know a lot of people have gotten stuck in contracts with these companies where they take a significant amount of money for the first few years out of their paycheck, and the jobs they get them are just okay and underpay them. This will not always be the case, but just be careful. Something else that I would suggest you do, find camps with good track records. Most people have their camps on their LinkedIn, so check out the camp's LinkedIn page and see if the people that have taken from them and have them listed, see if they're employed or not, and see if they're employed in the kind of companies that you would want to work at, doing the work that you would want to do. If you want to try to go about this without doing any additional learning, if you don't want to go to school, if you don't want to go to code camp, that is an option. I would at least take a couple of advanced courses on Udemy and start really building out a couple of applications to really build your profile. These applications should be different than the normal applications that these Udemy courses are going to have you build. They shouldn't be blogs or to-do tasks or anything like that. They should be more complicated and should have a good amount of creativity to them. But building your portfolio is really important. Some other ways to build your portfolio would be build some personal projects for fun, contribute to open source, make something for a family member, or reach out to a dev that you know and do a collaboration with them. This will actually be a really interesting opportunity for you because they can help you learn as well as building a project for your portfolio. So if you know someone that would be willing to do it, I would definitely try. No matter which way you go, try to find an internship, whether it's part-time or unpaid or full-time. Finding an internship will give you a significant step up. I know that unpaid internships are kind of a hot topic, but I have personally done a couple of unpaid internships and I've learned from every one of them. They were totally worth it. And it helped me get my foot in the door for my first job. They give you on-hands experience. It will make you more employable. And it might give you a better idea of what you want your career to look like. You might have one thing in mind and then you start an internship working for an actual company and change your mind. You will definitely not regret getting an internship. I hope you found this useful. Please leave any comments, questions, or concerns down below, and I will do my best to answer them. And make sure you like and subscribe for more content.